analogy, 20 minutes. Okay. Well, I'll actually try and do these according to the timings while also explaining it as well. So, for analogy, you have to always look for a change that happens from 1 to 2, and then apply that change to the next one. So, what you can see here is the first change that happens is bottom right, it turns grey. So this one's obviously going to change to an opposite colour. So that's why it's going to be C. You can just cross out the rest of them. What you can see changes from here is we lose a quarter of this shape. So we're going to lose a quarter of this shape. This shape has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and if we lose a quarter of that, we're going to be only losing one line. So let's look for one that has only 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So it should be A. This one, it's just the shapes seem to, the bottom shape comes to the top. So let's do that first. Bottom shape comes to the top, and you're left with B. With these two, the change that happens is, let's say the outside turns grey, so this one's going to turn black instead. It's basically the outside is flipping colours. So let's just look. We can cancel out the grey one, and now let's look for a second change. Right circle goes down, so this is going to go down, and we're left with D. Actually, we're left with D or C. So now let's see, white goes to black, so black is going to go to white. There we go. Question 5. First thing that happens is we lose a line, so let's lose this line, and let's cancel out this and this. There should only be one line. The next thing that happens is the circle goes in, so one of these moons is probably going to go in, and that gives us C instead of A. So let's go on question 6. Let me see how much time we've got. We've got a lot of time. So first the arrow rotates to the left 90 degrees, so we're going to rotate this. So obviously if you rotate it, it's going to be flat instead of standing up. You can already cancel out D. And what happens is this circle seems to pop up in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to, well, it's not, can't be A, but you're left with B or C. We have to now figure out if there's meant to be 2 circles or just 1 circle, and where it's meant to actually be. So let's think about this. 1 circle in the bottom right. That's a confusing one. Nothing else seems to be happening apart from a circle appearing. I would have assumed this one should be down here. What I'm going to say, I'm going to go with C because it is 1 circle appearing and not 2. There's no reason for it to be 2, because the change that's happening from here to here is 0 circles to 1 circle, so it should be 0 circles to 1 circle. So I'm going to go C. And I'll come back to it, see if I made a mistake, but I can't really do that when I'm doing a walkthrough. So question 7. You got the arrow points to the opposite corner, so at first it's pointing this way, this way. So this one's going to be facing the other way, obviously, so we cancel out these ones. We lose a dot from here to here, so we're going to lose a dot. Let's look for where we can lose a dot. There you go, C. This is the same number. So this one, the back shape seems to rotate, so let's rotate this back shape. It's obviously going to be like this, and we're left with C. This one, it just flips to be facing upwards now. So let's flip this. We've still got a few options. It also loses the 2 things at the bottom. No, it adds one, so we're going to have one more here. Okay, then we can get A. There we go. So this one, the colours flip. So let's flip the colours on here. It should be grey down here and white up here. What options are we left with? None of these seem to match. Okay, let's look for something else then. That seems to be the only thing that happens. Colours flip. Okay, well, I think it's going to be a different meaning. So it looks like this shape goes to this side, while this shape goes to that side. So it might be like that. So let's do that. There we go. I think we're left with A. Yeah, the only other one it could be is C, but that has a grey inside, which that shouldn't be changing, because there's no change between here to here. Let's go into question 11. I think I'm running out of time. But if we do the square, what happens is this diamond goes into the middle. So let's put this hexagon into the middle. All of them do that. It should also rotate to the right. It doesn't seem to be happening. Okay, so it's not going to be that. This rectangle goes second, so rectangle should be second. That can cancel out this, and this. Should be C. And the hexagon should stay the same colour, so we're left with B. Okay. So the line flips to be perpendicular, vertical instead of horizontal. So, yeah. It also flips from straight to dashed, so it's going to flip from dashed to straight here. So let's cancel these out. What else happens? This swaps, so these two are going to swap. So it's going to be a box like this, and then a box like that at the top. Let's see which one's got that. This one doesn't have it, so we're left with A and E, and then these two also probably flip. We're left with E because this one hasn't flipped. It's got the same one twice. Okay, so this one just rotates to the right. So let's rotate this. It can't be that, because just imagine this rotated. It's gonna, obviously the top. This is what the top one's gonna look like if you just flip it. You can even turn your head to the left and try and figure that out, right? So it could either be C or E. The bottom one, if we rotate that, it should be E, because that's, again, the wrong way around. So just turn your head to the left and try and think about what this should look like if it's flipped. So from this to this, what happens is the second one turns black. So let's turn this second one from the left, obviously. Let's turn that black. So the square should be black, and that crosses out a lot of the options. That crosses out all of the options. Left with A. And obviously this is rotating as well. So this rotated as well, like that. Just to explain that, rotated to the right clockwise, and this one rotated clockwise. And then what happened is it's just the square turns black. So this also turns black. But I'm assuming that if you follow through the rest of it, for example, the last one turns white. So this one would turn white, and you can see that's happening there as well. But you can just assume that that's what the change is going to be, especially when you don't have enough time. Okay, so the tick goes to the top right. So I'm going to move the sun to the top right, and you're left with D. For this, I'd say it's facing upside down. So you just flip this, and you're going to flip this. You're left with 3 options. What can it be? So what else changes? So what happens is the grey one goes to the left side. So to the right side. When you flip it around, it should be on the right side, so it should be D. The black it rotates, black circles rotate clockwise, or you could say the whole square rotates 90 degrees. So let's rotate the triangle. You're left with A. Yeah, you're just left with A. So this one gets bigger, so let's make the triangle bigger. These ones are upside down, it can't be that. And then you also get a pentagon. You get this shape just turned upside down and turned black. So you're left with C. Most people probably got that. Triangles. You flip the outside one, so let's flip this. You're left with E or B. And then the inside one also flips. So if you think about this flipping, it's not going to be E. So you're left with B. And this one just rotates 90 degrees to the right. So this one's going to rotate 90 degrees to the right. So you get A or D. So let's just cancel out these ones. And you see it turns white, so it's going to be D, not A. So if you, now for this one, outside triangle flips side. So if you flip this, you're going to be left with something like that. And it's going to be smaller. Actually, what I'd say is this the same size? Yeah, I'd say what's happening is the inside triangle is flipping, and then it's removing the line. So let's flip this, and then remove the line, and then just get rid of the outside. So it's going to be the same size as the inside shape, right? And you can see it can't be A, can't be these ones obviously, because they're the wrong way around. And that's why you're left with C. This one just rotates to the right, so let's just rotate this, and just be careful when you're rotating it. I mean, the best way I see it is just turn your head to the left, turn it perpendicular to the paper, and then what you get is this. So you get this corner shaded in, and this corner shaded in, and you can just cancel them out from there. This one's too big, because this one, what happens is it rotates and it also gets smaller. So this one should be smaller. You're left with these two, and then you just have to figure out what this bottom one is meant to look like. So again, rotate your head to the right, and then you figure out that the bottom one is meant to have shaded in the bottom right, and then also shade over here, and then you get the hexagon. It's a very bad hexagon, but you can see that it's A, because this one has got the points the wrong way. It should be like that. Okay, so this, let's first, what happens is this rotates like that to the left. So let's rotate this. It's anti-clockwise, so let's rotate this, and it's going to look like this. There we go. Okay, so it could be B because it has that, C has that, D doesn't, and E has it on the wrong side. Okay, what happens next is you get this little section right here. So you flipped this, you've rotated this, and then you get like a symmetry, and it's the opposite colours. So we just need a symmetry of this. Obviously it can't be B because it's the same colours. We have to figure out if it should be A or C. You can see it's like this, the dividing. So if you just imagine adding the extra section here, you can see that the division is down this line, not down this thing. So you can see it should be A. I don't think I'll be able to walk through it in 20 minutes, so, but I'll still try and get through. Okay, so you rotate it to the right. You're obviously left with a few of these. The black ones, the middle ones, go to the outside, so crosses these out, and then you can see that only the ones that are flipping to the outside, they change colours. So, oh, sorry, not that. It's only the circles that change colours, not the boxes. So if we change the colours of the circle, we get C. Let's flip this. So this seems to point the other direction, so this one's going to point upwards. Now, just look for a tip. So even if it's a bit confusing, look for a tip. This one doesn't have a tip. Okay, the rest of them do. And now we just have to figure out the colour change of the circles. So what we see... I see what's happened. So it looks like it doesn't actually change, it's just this rotates to the left 90 degrees. Anti-clockwise, sorry. So it's going to be like that, with the circles like this. So it's probably better to look for a tip like this. So you can cancel out these two. Then you also have the vertical one as well that comes in. And then you just need one that has gone from white circle, black circle, like here, to two white circles. So it can't be A because it's still got white circle, black circle. So you're left with C. And this is the same question repeated for some reason, but hopefully you put the same answer twice. So this one rotates 90 degrees to the right. So clockwise, so let's do that to this. Cross these out. When you're rotating clockwise, just think of a clock hand and just think about this bit rotating. So you're really just looking at this section and then just rotate it and turn it around. And you see that's way too far. You're left pretty much just with D. Again, rotate this all the way to that. So we're going to rotate this the same direction, because it's a whole clock, right? And that means the point is going to be here. So you cancel these out. What else changes? What you can see is when you rotate it, the circle isn't in this corner anymore, it's actually flipped to this side. So we can just do that to this one. The circle should be in the top right corner, but it would have been, but not in the change. So you see, because this is in the top right corner, that means it's wrong. It should actually be moving to the opposite corner, like in A. And so we rotate this to the right. First of all, actually, it also gets smaller. You can see. So and there's nothing we can do with that. Okay, so we rotate, and then this side goes back. But let's rotate it first to the right. So obviously the tip is going to be facing that way. So, bosh. Okay. Now we have to figure out what it's actually going to look like. Turn your head to the left and you can see what it should look like. Actually, maybe I can rotate. No, I can't rotate the page. Yeah, it's hard to explain this one really. Let's look at the patterns first. So the black goes to white, so this one, the bottom is going to have black. That leaves out C, so you're left with D and A, because they have a black like one of this, right? This part is black. And now you have to figure out which one is actually a proper rotation. I wish I could, there should be a way to rotate this. Maybe if I just do this. Nope, that doesn't do it. Oh, it might do it on the video. Okay. So you can see that it's meant to be going inwards to the page, sort of the bottom bit. I mean, yeah, I don't know, it's hard to explain that, but this is like sort of flat on this plane. Sorry, it's like that. Whereas this one is like that. Oh, there we go, actually, we can see this. There you go, see, if you look at the bottom, it's like this. So then if you just rotate that, it means it's going to be like that. So just think about a straight line and then you rotate that instead of looking at the whole thing. Because this one, the line is like this. Obviously if you rotate this all the way around, it's not going to be that direction. Because that's the same as how it was before, right? Okay, question 30. Nothing changes if these ones move down, so let's move this and move this, and you'll let it be. Oh, also, actually, yeah, see, because the outside goes dark. Okay, this square gets removed, so let's remove the thing, the outside. Okay, that's happened. And then this turns into 3, so let's turn this into 3. All of these are 3. Okay, and one of them stays the same orientation as it, so look for one. Okay, they all have that. They take the pattern of the square, and so this one should take the pattern of the shape behind it, so it should be this pattern. And now let's draw out these ones. So A is like this, so it can't be A. B is like this, C is like this, D is like this, and E is all over the place, so let's not go for any of those. So now we have to choose between B, C. These two are facing away. Yeah, so basically I think we're just going to look at the rotation. So if you look at, this is pointing this way, then it's pointing that way. So you got a 90-degree rotation here, from this one to this one. And then you've got like a 45-degree. So if we just do that to here, 90 degrees here, and 45 degrees here. So I'd go with this, because that's a 180-degree rotation from there to there. Okay, the plus goes black, so let's turn this black. Okay, they all have it. The line switches to vertical instead of horizontal, so this one's going to switch from vertical to horizontal. You're left with a few options now. It should also not have a pentagon in it, And what you can see is there's this dashed thing that comes up, so it can't be D because it has to have a dashed thing. Okay, square. So it loses one side to become a triangle, so this one's going to go from a hexagon to a pentagon. The circles switch colours, so the circle should be black. It goes from white to being shaded like this, so we have to look for one that's shaded like this, and E is shaded the wrong way, shaded like that. So you're left with D. Okay, so the plus goes to the top, the square goes to the top then. The plus also changes to white, so square has to be white. This goes to the bottom and also flips direction. So these all have it at the bottom. So the arrow should go to the bottom and it should flip direction like that. So it can't be C. And the shading, it should take on the shading of the bottom shape. So the shading of the bottom shape in this one is this diamond. Yeah, it's going to be shaded like this, not straight. So it's not D, it's B. Okay. I think this is just rotated. Oh no, I think what it looks like is it's just made, there's another one, so it's duplicated and then flipped like that, right? That's just two triangles, so this one is going to just be duplicated and flipped like this. Bosh. But obviously it's also going to be overlapping a bit, so it won't actually be, because these ones are overlapping. So let's see. Can't be B, can't be A, can't be E. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know what these crosses are, so that's the main reason why I cancelled them out. Okay, so the big shape gets rotated 180 degrees. So let's rotate this 180 degrees. It should be facing the right instead of facing the left. It goes facing left. Yeah, okay. This big shape is then made smaller and put to the top right. So this shape should be made smaller and put to the top right. And it should be white, so it shouldn't be D. Because it's like this. This should be at the top right, like you can see with here. This shape is right here. Move on to 37. After this, I'm actually going to check which questions most people got wrong, because we didn't get very good scores on the NVR. So they switched places. So, oh, this is kind of confusing. Okay, let's say they don't switch places. It just seems to be a reflection down the center. So it's interesting because it's an analogy question, but they ask about reflection. So you're just going to reflect this down the middle. And when you reflect it, just draw from point to point. So there you go. So this is going to be like this, and then this can be like that, so that, and so that, and that, and then that. There you go. And you can see it's A. from that. Oh, never mind. You can see actually that this also gets smaller, so it shouldn't be the same size. It should actually be smaller. It should be. Okay, so this moves to the bottom. Top left moves to the bottom. Oops, I've done that to the wrong one. Hexagon moves to the bottom, so let's look for one. Okay, all of them have hexagon at the bottom. It also becomes dashed, so let's look for one where the hexagon is dashed. Okay, so you can't be D and E because these aren't dashed. Black circle stays in the same position, so this one's going to stay in the same position. They all have that. This also stays in the same position. The triangle moves to the top and gets dashed, so this one should move to the top and get dashed. This isn't dashed. Now we're just left with whether the triangle should rotate or not. No, the hexagon hasn't rotated, so let's do B. Talking about this triangle, right? So what we're doing is just we're looking at what happens from here. No, sorry. We're looking at what happens from top right on here to the top right on here, and then you do the same thing to the top right on here, and you can see nothing changed, so you don't change anything, and from that you can cancel out C, and you just do that with every section on the grid basically. And even if it's not a grid question, you do that with every section of the shape is what I've been doing basically. So you can see I first take on one part of the shape, so let's say the circle. See what changes from here to here about the circle. Looks like the circle moves to the bottom like that. So this circle on the actual test shape is probably going to move to the opposite end as well, so it's probably going to be up here. So you can already cancel out D, and what you can see is the circle also changed colour to black, seeing like to the colour of this, right? So the circle's going to change to this shading, so it can't be white, and it can't be E, so we're left with C or A. And you see the outside of the box goes to the inside, so let's do that. The outside shading of the box goes to the inside, so this is meant to be dashed, and the outside should be a straight line, and so it can't be C, and you're left with A. Final question. I've ran 10 minutes over, but that's fine. Flip to the right. So you rotate to the right. So let's rotate this to the right first, the whole shape. Cancels a few of them out already. And once you rotate it, it looks like they swap positions. So the triangle goes to the end, and the circle goes to that end. So if we're going to swap positions here, the diamond goes here, and the triangle should go there. So diamond should be on the shortest stick. Cancel out D. Now let's look at what happens to the dashed. So the middle one was dashed first, and now everything else is dashed apart from the middle one. So that's going to be the same thing here, where this dashed line is probably going to turn straight, and these two straight lines are going to turn dashed. So E, because this one shouldn't be dashed. Okay, that is NVR. And 34 minutes in. I'm just going to check. Look for the lowest. Okay, so it looks like question 40, the one that we just went through, a lot of people got wrong. Most people put C for some reason. Alright, let's see. A lot of people put C and B. Let's try and figure this out. C. So people just didn't rotate this, because you can see the whole shape has changed. It's been rotated. I'm assuming most people just maybe run out of time and just guess that one. So it doesn't really make sense as to why you'd choose one that has the same, it's facing the same direction. Hopefully, if you got that wrong, you understand it now anyway. Question 29. Yeah, that's probably the one where... Oh, why can't I rub this out? It's probably... I'm assuming most people chose D. Let me see what they... Yeah, it's 20% of you chose D, and then 20% of you chose C. So I mean, if you chose C, what you did wrong was you didn't flip the shading. So obviously, you looked at the rotation, but you have to look at the shading next. So look at the fact that this one, the black on this side flips to the white on this side, right? So this side should be black next, and this side should be white, and then rotate it, and you're going to get a black bit at the bottom. So you can cancel out C from that, and then you should just be left with D or C. D or A, sorry. And you just have to figure out the rotation thing like I was talking about, where the bottom line here is like this. So if you rotate that, sorry, it'll be like this. So there you go, the bottom line there, and this one is the wrong way. Question 6 was another one a lot of people got wrong, which means you probably didn't run out of time on this one, you just made a mistake. To the left. A lot of people chose A. So I think they just missed the fact that it has a... Oops. They missed the fact that it has a circle come into the play. Wait, hold on. Am I looking at the right... Oh, I was looking at maths. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's look at NVR. Year 5. NVR. There we go. Okay, let me see this. So, yeah, it was still question 40. Okay, people chose E, I think. No, most people chose blank, and then most people chose D. Alright, okay. Okay, so let's just do this section a bit again. Going through the wrong questions. Yeah, you can see I can see most of these are the later questions, because I think a lot of people left them blank. But yeah, so D was the most popular answer, because they didn't realise that the shapes flip. So that's just a mistake in logic. Basically, rotate it, and then you should immediately notice that if you rotated it, the triangle should be here. So your next step should be looking at that rule. Obviously, rotate it first, and then cancel the ones out. So you cancel out these two, and then just look at, oh, okay, what's happened now? So triangle has gone to this side and the circle has gone to this side. So it's going to be the same thing when you rotate this, it's going to switch sides. And then you can cancel out D, and you should be making that mistake. So just be a bit careful there. See, did people choose B? Yeah, a lot of people chose B as well. Which is, again, it's just figuring out there's another rule there to explore. So, I'm assuming if you chose B or D, it's unlikely that you cancelled out E. You probably just decided you didn't have enough time and you wanted to guess it or something like that. So, I mean, with all of these questions, you should be absolutely certain, because you have the ability to know it all right. Question 30 is the same thing. It's because there's lots of moving parts here. Always take it one step at a time. Blank was the most popular answer. C was the most popular answer after that, compared to the right answer, which was A. Yeah. So I mean, even let's say if you're left with A and C as the last two options, I think you can look at the difference between them. You can notice that the outside is dashed, while this one is lined. So then just from that, try and figure out if it should be dashed or lined. So go back to the original shape. Look what happens to the outside. It switches from dashed to lined. And then this one is still dashed, so it's probably going to switch to lined. A straight line, so it's probably not going to stay dashed. So you're left with A. Question 23. That's the next one that most people got wrong. Okay, this one's a bit confusing. I'm assuming most people chose something like C. Let's see. E was the most popular answer. Okay. A lot of people chose E. I think the problem there is you've just assumed that this goes to the left when it doesn't. I think most people just made this go to the left. Don't really think in terms of left and rights. Just think of rotations whenever you're doing NVRs. So this is rotating anti-clockwise, so this is going to rotate anti-clockwise 90 degrees obviously, which means it should be on this side. It can't be on the wrong side, so E is most definitely wrong. And once you've done that, you're actually left with only A once you've rotated this anti-clockwise. And B obviously as well, but B isn't right. Okay, question 30. The next one. Most people chose B or blank. Why would you choose B? Oh. B, there's multiple things wrong with B. The main thing is you should look at first, with a grid, always look at what's changing at one shape at a time. So the square moves from middle top to the bottom top. So if the triangle is just going to move to the bottom middle, sorry, not bottom top. Okay, so bottom middle. Okay. Oh no, okay, yeah. So most people have done that. They just finished there and didn't look at the rest of the options. When you look at the rest of the options, you can see that these two are the exact same, apart from the outside line. So when you're left with those two, and there's only one difference between them, try and figure out which one is actually meant to be right. So you look at this one, goes thicker, so this is going to go thicker. So it should be C. Question 37. Most people chose blank and A. Yeah, it's the same mistake that I was making as well. So it should turn smaller. So with these ones, if you're making a mistake like this where you're getting all the rules but then forgetting just one rule, it's unfortunate because you're wasting probably 30 seconds to a minute on figuring out all of these rules just to get 0 marks again. So always make sure you finish all the way to the end. Especially look at all the options. If you've cancelled some of them out and you're left with two options that look pretty similar, don't just choose the one that you think is right. Only choose one once you've cancelled out every other option. Probably going to leave it at that for NVR.